this is a big update that has come in. The Uddhav camp has now sought the suspension of the 39 Rebel Shivsena MLAs till the Deputy Speaker decides the disqualification petition, and also pleading with the SC that since the disqualification proceedings are pending, none of the 39 Sena Rebel MLAs be allowed to participate in the assembly proceedings. So this new application will be mentioned at 10:30 today, in a short while from now, for urgent hearing. What is the view that the Supreme Court will take? But as far as the numbers go, even with the disqualification, is going to be advantage Devendra Fadnavis, but questions being raised on what is it that is going to happen. So clearly the Uddhav camp has not given up the battle. Radhika and Deepak are also joining us live with more details. Radhika, this was an unexpected move. Uddhav Thackeray already submitting his resignation. The new Chief Minister, Deputy CM have taken oath as well, but clearly the fight is not over.
Yes, clearly the fight is not over. In fact, there is a legal battle going on as far as that disqualification plea is concerned. So there were these MLAs had moved, plea against the disqualification plea of the Deputy Speaker at that time, and also as against the leader of the against the appointment of leader of legislative party as well. Now, of course, MVA not leaving any stone unturned. Although we expected that yesterday, after the resignation, after the oath ceremony, perhaps MVA has given up, or perhaps Uddhav Thackeray has given up. Looks like they want to approach the legal route, especially because that particular disqualification application, or rather the petition, is pending before the court, and the responses are yet to be filed. It's July 12th by when the responses have to be filed by all the respondents, including the Deputy Speaker. So in that case, of course, now the MVA moving this particular petition, whereby it has asked for the suspension of these rebel MLAs till the disqualification petition is decided, and also that the proceedings cannot happen in the assembly. So that's what they are saying, that none of these MLAs, rebel MLAs, 39 MLAs, to be allowed to participate in the assembly proceedings. And now, of course, this application that has been moved before the Supreme Court will be heard at 10:30 a.m. So clearly, Mahavikas Aghadi government, or rather Uddhav Thackeray, and now that the government is no longer there, Uddhav Thackeray has, of course, moved this particular application. Whoever is part of the MVA or was part of the MVA has now moved this particular application, seeking for for these MLAs to not be part of the assembly proceedings. We know that tomorrow and day after is when the first assembly proceeding will begin, when the counting will happen. So yes, that if if the Supreme Court puts a stay on it, perhaps this session, the proceedings may not happen tomorrow and day after. It remains to be seen whether this particular application will go in favor of MVA or of the new government.
That's right. So, this Maharashtra crisis is something that has seen twists and turns with each passing day. But clearly, Deepak, it's not over until it's over. Urgent hearing sought at 10:30 a.m. today.
Yes, when governments change in such a manner, when governments are formed in such a manner, especially when one, a particular party does not get majority. We've seen time and again in different states in India where the situation changes every 24 hours. And of course, the Supreme Court has been at the forefront of, bringing about these changes. And now once again, the matter is going to come up. What the Supreme Court really decides, is there going to be a situation where the Sena is going to have to face yet another legal hurdle before actually formally starting this new Sarkar here in Maharashtra? That's something that remains to be seen. But if you go by what the Supreme Court has said in its previous order, it did, of course, stay the floor test. It, of course, forced Uddhav Thackeray to resign, realizing he didn't have numbers. It's very unlikely that they will, really stay this particular floor test that's scheduled for tomorrow, where, Eknath Shinde will have to prove his majority, because this is something that came up. Now, technically, not allowing the, these MLAs from the Eknath Shinde camp to actually vote tomorrow would be the prerogative of the Speaker and what happens in the State Assembly. So how much power does the Supreme Court really have in this matter? will it really look into it as well, or will it just hear it and dismiss it? We'll know shortly. But definitely, like I mentioned, these are scenarios where everything changes in a matter of hours. So it's never over till it's actually over. So up until the MLAs actually come from Goa, reach Mumbai, go to the assembly, ensure that Eknath Shinde proves the majority, we can definitely expect different scenarios to play out in the next 24 hours.
Right, and that's also one of the reasons why perhaps the Shinde camp MLAs continue to be in Goa. They took oath as the Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister, Fadnavis and Eknath Shinde, but despite that, the MLAs still continue to be in Goa. They are likely to be in Mumbai only tomorrow when the floor test actually happens.